Let's see. Did it make it this time? I'm telling you what. I just don't know. There's that dog again. Oh my gosh. Can I not stop him from yipping? Here we go. Can I not stop him from yipping? My goodness. Here we go. Not stop him from yipping. That takes forever. I wish I could just start this over again, but then that would be a real pain in the butt. So, welcome to the Minutes with Milo show. We're having, as always, headspace technical difficulties. That means my head's not in the correct space. It causes difficulties. So, I know you can hear me because I just heard myself on the YouTubers. But you missed my intro. But I'm back on this OBS studio, which, since I didn't use it for a while, I'm kind of rusty on. So when you hit start streaming, then you got to really hit, yes, I meant to hit start streaming. So let's go live twice, carry on, and then, it's crazy. But I'm here, and I'm back. Hello, Cleo. So, coming out on YouTube, live channel, then it'll go to a saved video, and then eventually it'll end up on a podcast on Spotify and Google Podcasts. So, I've got 100 subscribers. I appreciate everybody. Tell a friend, tell a graph, tell a rabbit, tell somebody. Like, subscribe, turn the bell on. Come on by, let's talk. Or listen to me talk. The only way to keep me from talking is if you join me or call in and shut me up. And speaking of that, let's just do this. There's the telephone number. Ooh, look at that. Magic. The telephone number. And I think I've got that going. Kind of got that going right there. See what I could do. I could cover up my face over here on this side. That looks better. Let's see what this says I'm doing here. It says I'm not dropping any frames. That's probably pretty good. Alright. So, drag and drive events. I haven't really talked about it too much on the show. But I like cars. I like old cars. I've said that before. I like old stuff. And I like all kinds of racing. But mostly drag racing. Do I drag race? Not really. That's like I like to cook. Do I cook? You've seen examples of that. Not really. Even though when I do, it's marvelous. It's just marvelous. Let's see. I'm trying to find my images. Because, oh, hold on. Is someone calling me? Let's see. How do I answer it? Pick it up. That work? Cleo. It is Cleo.
To accept, press 1. To send a
I
voicemail,
can't.
press 2.
How in the devil do I press 1, Cleo? There. How's that work?
I think I got you.
I can hear you. So I hear.
I think your number came. I just see if it would actually work.
I hear echoes. Let me see what I can. Have you got your computer turned up?
Yeah, let me mute it. Is that any better?
I don't know. Is that any better? Yes.
I can hear you fine on the phone. Of course, I got your volume turned down on the computer.
Yeah. I don't hear the echo anymore. So, what we need is Robert on here to see if he can hear you.
Yeah, I see him on there now.
Is he? He's got to hit some zeros or pluses or something, because there he is. Is that him? There he comes. Doesn't show you. Robert, can you hear Clell on the telephone? The old telly. Clell is quiet. I don't know how to turn you up. Let's do this. Say something now.
Barely.
Give me a test count there.
You're talking to me or Robert?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Is that any better,
7,
Robert?
8.
Does Clell sound any better?
Might be a little bit of a delay or something on the feed.
That's not any better.
Barely still.
Yeah, not any better. So you sound good in my ear. Mixer.
Do you have it? Are you using StreamYard?
No, I'm using the OBS tonight. Earbuds,
Okay.
system sounds. Let's do that. Now say something.
This is better. How about now, Robert? Can you hear me?
What's he say?
Yes, but now
This
it's
is-
echo.
I mean, I turned up the Mozilla, which I'm using. Let me turn me down, which is my mic. Maybe it's feeding back through my mic or something. Is that any better on the echo? Echo.
I still hear you fine on the phone.
See what Robert says. Yes, but now with an echo. Why is it like zeros and nines?
This is better. I think that's just a typo.
There's some periods.
Dot.
Yeah, so he types period because in this software, there's comments at the very bottom in the window that I can't see. So when you hit a period, it racks it up to the top. Well, we'll talk and see, if Robert, if it doesn't sound any better or anything, holler back at us. But so I don't know why I keep cranking up the volume. Maybe I should talk quieter. It's better when I whisper.
Did you make it to the drag event down at
Yeah, I did.
when was it, yesterday? Did it end at
Wednesday.
2 or did it go till later?
Well, it ended at 2. So it said racing was from 8 to 2, and then when I got there, it was real dewy. So they didn't start really till 8:45, and then at 1 o'clock they called last call for the lanes. So then, if you weren't in the lanes by 1 o'clock, then you couldn't make any more runs. So I was trying to find my images, and because I took pictures, if you had the Facebook or Instagram, I posted them all in the story. They weren't very good because I was taking them with the cheap phone. And
I wanted to go to that event, and you'd think I would have known about it since I worked the NASCAR event for the whole week, and I never even knew it was they was going to have that. So I wasn't prepared at work to leave during the middle of the day, but I kind of figured if it was over at 2, there would be a lot of spectator stuff going on after 2.
No, there wasn't. Really, it was just literally just, and that's what kind of makes uh, the drag and drive events kind of good. There wasn't any YouTube personalities there but myself. Still some echo. I wish I knew why that was, because I look at all my little audio mixers.
Well, I've got you muted completely on my end.
All right. Let me turn yours down a little bit too. So I don't know. Mine's always bouncing into the yellow and red because I've got, this microphone right here. So anyhow, there wasn't any YouTube personalities, so they didn't have like tent set up or anything like that. I don't know if they actually do those type of vendors. VP Racing Fuels was there. I think Hoosier was there. You could have tires changed, that kind of stuff there. They brought a tractor and trailer, and VP Racing Fuel had all kinds of gas. Of course, Bristol has its own gas pumps and stuff. I don't know. A lot of these guys run E85 because in the Northeast, that's pretty readily available. Outside of Bristol, it might be pretty readily available. I don't know. But so a lot of them are running racing fuel, different things like that. I saw a couple of guys. Well, one guy, he was draining the fuel out of the carburetor bowl so he could swap over from road gas to race gas to make his runs. I think he was driving a gasser with 2 4-barrels on it. But there was Mahal or something like that, MHAL, which is a piston manufacturer. They were there. Holly was there. VP Racing, like I said, the gas, all that stuff. So the vendors had some stuff set up. Then Motor Trend that puts it on, they had a truck there, and you could buy, T-shirts and that kind of stuff for drag week. So drag and drive events, for those out there that don't realize what they are, Hot Rod Drag Week, Hot Rod Magazine has been doing this drag week for years and years. And basically it started out, I think David Freiberger, one of the editors back in the day of the magazine when it was actually in print, decided it would be cool for people to take basically street cars and race them on tracks, multiple tracks. And they started out, of course, that was in California, and I think they started it in California, where they would go and make a race during the day, and then they had to take their car and drive it to the next track and race it. And they did that in a circuit. So you start out at one track, and you make a big loop, and you come back to the original track, and that's where it starts and ends. So it has to be, I'm going to generalize that as drag and drive events, street legal. And that means tags, titles, insurance, all that. They do an inspection, not only for safety for drag racing, but they do horns, turn signals, all those kind of things. Rear view mirrors. It's just like a car inspection. You go through, and if it's street legal, they give it the okay for drag racing and for horns and all that kind of stuff. Then you pass tech and you can drive it. You can't trailer it. Drag Week has a thing where nobody else can help you except other racers, other people in the event. I don't even, maybe spectators. I haven't really thought about that.
Is that the one where you can pull a trailer with your car as long as it's under a certain size? But
Yeah.
the only things you can pack with you is what you can put on the trailer, like tires and tools and whatnot.
Yep. So they give you a size, a cubic foot size for what you can put on the trailer, or how big the trailer can be. Then whatever you can stuff in there, that's what you can take with you. So let's see. Let me do this real quick. Is this the one? I'm going to try to show you a picture of this one guy, what he did. Alright, so this was a Fairmount wagon. And the thing I really like about these drag and drive events is they're street cars that people have hopped up to make them fast. Now, like I said, this is a Fairmount wagon. If you don't know much about Fairmounts, it's like a Mustang chassis, the Fox body Mustangs with this is a wagon body on it, or they make sedans. But anyway, see, he's just carrying a trailer on his, and it says cylinder 3 is DOA, dead on arrival, onward, and he's just running it on 7 cylinders. But see, he's carrying on all these drag and drive events. To run it on the racetrack, you have to have racing tires. So most people carry tires to race on and then swap back to tires they drive on the road on. And some of them, there are tires that you can race and drive on the road on. And a lot of them use those. But this guy, of course, he had a wagon. He could have had all kinds of tools and stuff in the back. But what he couldn't fit, he doesn't have a luggage rack. So he hooked up a trailer, or not a trailer, but a hitch, and put this on I think it looks like one of those things where you carry an electric scooter behind your car is what it looked like. And he straps them down. And over here, you can't barely see, there's some green over here. He had some jugs. Robert said he was following some nice old lady. Where? There was some nice ones. I saw a nice ride yesterday in Bristol. Robert, where'd you follow the nice old lady at? That's all I can see. I followed a nice old something. Hit me a couple of periods. But on this picture, the guy had gas in these green jugs. So this was how empty it was at the end. Very few cars still left. Some nice old ones. Let's see. I saw some nice rides yesterday in Bristol. There was some nice ones in. Followed a nice old Belvedere into town. I wish I'd have taken some more car pictures, but I was watching the races and didn't get out to do a lot of car pictures. There's an old Corvette, like a 50s something Corvette. I never saw it make a run. Now, just because you enter drag week, you don't have to be fast. So I have seen old cars that are just completely stock make 18, 19-second runs. Part of the fun is they go, and like I said, drag and drive is just that. You drive on the street in a certain route, and you have checkpoints. That's the reason they know that you went on a certain route. You have to take pictures and send it to them, that kind of stuff. Because they're pretty, a lot of these guys are really competitive, and I'll show you. This is a street legal car, and it's totally set up for drag racing. I mean, this is not what you'd, go. He's specifically designed this car for these type of events. there's some handsome fella standing in front of a Trans Am. Looks like Smokey and the Bandit, but it didn't have T-tops. But it was a nice car. This was a Malibu, twin turbos, and he was selling these these T-shirts for $25. Race cars ruined my life. And I saw several people have them on. This was a Chevette with his trailer painted to match his Chevette. He had if you can see it in there, the engine is set so far back, he had to cut the cowl, the hood, and everything to get this thing on there. He's got a nice beard. And then the trailer. And it was matched. And he's got these horns and stuff on top. And see, there was U-Haul trailers there. There was homemade trailers. This guy's probably got a homemade trailer. But, you know, they outfit them very basically, or they really trick them out. I found this. This was a Hot Wheels that Stephanie Philippi Photography put out there. And I happened to find it. So give her a look on Facebook. She was taking pictures of the car. I saw her on the starting line. I didn't recognize who it was until I looked it up on Facebook and saw some of the pictures she had taken at Bristol. So I remember seeing her on the starting line. But I found this Hot Wheels car, and kind of a neat way to get people. I don't know what that is. That's a crack in the road. Nova 2, Chevy Nova, the early ones. And these guys, they've got them unbelievable. Full cage in these things. They have headsets, walkie-talkies, everything. So now this might be a wagon. I don't really take it, but he's working on his supercharger. This was a nice panel van that was there. Clell, you still on? You still on here? Did you hang up? Hello. Where'd he go? Clell. Did you hang up? Oh, you know why it dropped? Because when I click, anyway, the phone, I'm running it through Mozilla, the website. It's a Google number. So when I clicked over here on the other web page to change it, it took the focus away and put Mozilla in the bottom, and it dropped the call. I don't know why it does that. I wish I could figure that out. But this was a panel van, and it was awesome. I didn't get to see it run. It didn't make a run. There's a gasser. A couple of them on the starting line. I saw a guy, see where this red car is? The guy came up there with a Fox body and was doing his burnout. I don't know what happened, but that Fox body spun 360 degrees and was facing the opposite way when it come to rest. Didn't hit anything, didn't hit anybody. It just did half a donut right there on the starting line. It was crazy. And here's kind of a wide pose. Let's see, is this the guy? Nope, there's a nice Nova's got the front end off of it. Chevelle. Early Malibu. It's hard to tell. Some of these cars are really painted up nice. There's a guy's trailer. There's Summit Racing. They were there. That guy's got that, man, that thing's way up in the air back there. There's some of the trailers. Over here. This is an Oldsmobile, kind of a four-door. Not a bad, it didn't run too bad. I know I took a picture of Sick. There's a Duster back here. There was a section back in the back with all the Dodges. Okay, so this guy right here. This guy does his own drag and drive event, Sick Week. He's out of Florida. He was one of the first street legal cars in drag week to go 6 seconds. So I saw a car, it made one pass, and the pass was 236 miles an hour in 6 seconds and something. But it was a Dodge Viper. I don't have any pictures of it. But this guy was one of the first to go 6 seconds and run a drag week. And now he's got his own drag and drive event called Sick Week in Florida. Here's some of the ones in the staging lanes. When I first got there, these guys were all lined up. And some of them are pretty normal looking cars. A lot of Fox bodies. See right there's 3 of them in a row. There's an N95. But because it was so there was so much dew on the track. Ooh, French fries and hot dogs. That wasn't that nice. So, block that. Window capture. Where is it? There it is. Ooh, okay. I'm back. So, Roberts, anything 72 and back is cool with him. Yeah, they had a lot of those kind of cars. Most of them were older cars. You see a lot of newer Camaros and different things like that. But there was a lot of old ones. And that's kind of like what I like about those. They a lot of gassers. There's different classes based on speed, based on, engine, whether you naturally aspirated or have a power adder, those kind of deals. Power adders, either nitrous or turbo or procharger, supercharger, or anything like that. So you pick what class you want to be in. You build your car to that specification, and they have rule books. But they have the final say. If you go and you've done something that you think's questionable, they can put you in another class. So you've got to kind of, be pretty specific. And a lot of their safety rules are based on NHRA because they just don't want to have to rewrite safety regulations. It's just easy to say, safety regulations are all based on NHRA. Engine, chassis, those kind of things, they put them in different categories for each event. So one of the things I did do, I didn't see any 280Zs. I have been trying to go to Drag Week for like 4 years or 5 years at least. And my wife makes fun of me because I won't go unless I could be semi-competitive in a class. I mean, literally, if you had a daily driver and it was, let's just say, I don't know, you could take your smart car as long as you could get some kind of drag racing tire that size and put it on the drive wheel so that when you went on the track you had a drag approved tire on there, you could run anything. They don't, as long as it's street legal, tagged, insured, all that kind of stuff, it doesn't matter. I haven't seen, I think they have a category now for EVs, electric vehicles, but I didn't see any in this group. I've seen like old cars like Model A's and step above Model A's because you've got to have, modern tires. Maybe they make a drag radial or something for a Model A. I don't know. I guess you could run skinnies if you could find one that was tall enough. I don't know what diameter wheel a Model A runs, but they run 19, 20. They'll let you run whatever. You you won't be competitive, but you get to still go and drive and be part of the event. And a lot of this is a game of attrition. So if you go with a not so competitive car, but it's really reliable, you could end up being, as they call it, you could have a podium seat or you might win. Just because faster guys in your class might break, So it's roughly 1,000 miles round trip, and that's a long way for cars that can run in the 9 seconds and under all the time, and then drive them on the street. So I saw one guy that had did they have a stock class? Yeah. And they do something like bracket racing. And there's only one class that they do a bracket style race. And I can't remember what they call it. They call it Drag Week, I think Street Eliminator or Street Super Street or something. But anyway, so throughout the week, it's the only class where your reaction time is important. So let's say you're running like the stock class. Let's just say, you took your 2001 Chevy Tahoe and you put a race slick on it and you ran. So when the light turns green in all classes except for this one, your reaction time doesn't count. So it's not truly a heads up because you might be racing a person, you might be up on the track against a person that's in a different class. So you're not really heads up racing. You're racing to better your overall average for the week. So you go up there and when the light turns green, if you're, looking down to see what the radio station is and you look up and you go, it's green, you go, oh, and you floor it and it runs 18 seconds, they don't care what the reaction time is. You ran 18 seconds. You can turn that time slip in, load your Tahoe up, go back to the motel, hang out and watch racing, go to the next track, do whatever you want to do because you're done for the day. Once you turn your time slip in, you're done for the day. So where it becomes important is in this one class, all week they run it like true drag racing. Your reaction time's important, your speed's important, and at the end, the last day, you get put into a 32 car field and you have to earn your way into these 32 car fields. So if there's 50 cars in your class, you got to be in the top 32 to make it to the final race, and it's like a bracket race. So you can't run any faster than 10 seconds, and I think you can't run any quicker than 10 seconds. You can't run any faster than 130 miles an hour in that class. And that's probably the class I was going to try to be in, because a 10-second car nowadays is doable. Only thing you have to do is do it, and that's my problem. I just haven't done it. But yeah, you can take your, like I said, Chevy Tahoe, put you some drag radials on it. You don't even have to change tires. If you get a drag radial that's DOT approved, then you put them on there, you drive. You could take just tools. There's people that make just runs down the track, but their trailer is chocked full. There was a guy with a welder there, and I saw him working on a guy's trailer hitch, because you're taking drag cars and you're putting a trailer hitch on them so you can pull your parts and tires and gas and whatever else that you want in this trailer. And a lot of them aren't designed really to have trailer hitches put on them. But anyway, he had a whole welding setup in his trailer, tanks and all that kind of stuff, and he was welding this guy's trailer hitch up. So some people go to participate, but a lot of times they go to help other racers. Because like I said, in drag week, I think only racers can help racers. I don't know. There may be a caveat where a spectator could run to the parts store and get you, parts, whatever you might need, and bring it back. But I'm pretty sure to actually wrench and work and do things to the car and its parts, you have to be a racer, or a co-driver. There are co-drivers. So what I did is I looked up some classes for, let's see if we can get this back. There we go. Transition that over. So I found a Facebook group, and it's Drag and Drive Addiction. It's on Facebook. Of course, you can see it here. This by Mahal Motorsports. They do pistons, and apparently this Drag and Drive Addiction site is ran by Mike Narks. Anyway, and he puts together a list. So these are 2023 dates. So here's Sick Week. You can go down through here and look. Of course, sold out. See, this one's already April the 4th. Let's get down here. If there's anything. Race Week, Pueblo, Colorado. Carolina Drag Cruise, North Carolina's early October. Death Weeks in Las Vegas. Southeast Street in Yeet. It's in North Carolina in November. King of the Open Road. So let's see what this Carolina Drag and Cruise is about. Everybody has their own little twist on things. Drag and Cruise. What is Carolina Drag Cruise? Drag and Drive event based in the Carolinas. Drag and Drive events are designed to showcase street cars and people who enjoy them. So that was one thing I was going to say. The Drag and Drive events are almost like a rolling car show. There's just so many cool cars that, go along and are awesome to look at, but they're fast. They really are fast. And, a lot of these people, that's part of the draw, right? Is they take their street car, which they've built to be semi-fast, and then they get to see how really fast it is. A lot of times, it is not fast. Starts their events on Thursday night and run through Sunday. So this is just a weekend. Drives are around 30 miles per day or are held at an 8-mile track. We encourage racers helping racers by allowing any competitor to help one another as long as they only use what is available in the competition vehicles. Carolina Drag Cruise follows the spirit of Hot Rod Magazine's developed, but not everyone is able to take the time off to work to spend a full week driving hundreds of miles and compete at that level. This is where their event's different. So apparently it's just over a few, 3 days. Starts Thursday night and runs through Sunday, which is kind of cool. Let's see. They've got rules. They've got catalogs. I guess we're at the home. Catalog. I don't know what the catalog is. Rules. They got a Facebook. True Street. Classes. Modern Muscle. Stick Shift. Limited Street. Unlimited Street. Fastest reaction times. Sponsors. I wish they would give their track. Of course, I don't know. Maybe it hadn't been set up yet. All right. So that one's coming up. Southeast Street and Yeet. Yeet? Not yet. Mahil. I think maybe I've been saying it wrong this whole time. I don't know. You said doo-doo. When did I say doo-doo? Did I say doo-doo? If anybody knows about doo-doo, it would be Robert. So maybe I did say doo-doo. So Southeast Street and Yeet, 4 days, 5 tracks, 600 miles. Thursday, November the 9th through Sunday the 12th. So that's the same kind of deal. They run it over the weekend. Motion Raceworks, they're a pretty good bunch of dudes. Made in the USA. Event info on what it costs to get in. Shadyside Dragway, Shelby, North Carolina. South Carolina Motorplex, Nices, South Carolina. House of Hook. So you go 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening on Friday. It's in Aiken, North Carolina. Then day 3, Saturday, is Darlington. That's where Drag Week was. They began and ended in Darlington. And Drag Week ends tomorrow. I don't know where they were today. Shadyside Dragway back at Shelby. So they list motels, pretty good setup. Registration. Let's see how much it costs. $215 US. General admission, ticket type. Event entry is strictly entry to the event itself. Entry does not include the gate fees at each track. Gate fee at each track is $20 per person. X1 driver t-shirt, X1 co-pilot, class designation sticker, windshield banner, and X2 koozies. Class rules, event rules. They have a payout. Drag Week doesn't do any payout. It's all for fun. So Sick Week, this is the one that's in Florida. And let's see. Of course, next one's in January 28th through February the 2nd. Dennis Bailey, that's the dude's name. Dennis Bailey. America's quickest cars descend on sunny Florida from January 8th to February the 2nd for 5 days of drag and drive competition. Racers set an average time at each drag strip across the week to determine their place and must drive their cars between each track along a predetermined route. Along the way, they will socialize, party, and cruise, and hundreds of others like-minded participants. So, starts out in Orlando, goes to Bradenton, Gainesville, South Georgia, and then back to Orlando. Tom Bailey. He's the guy that has the Camaro that did that first 6-second pass. So this is pretty cool. Rocky Mountain Race Week is in the Midwest, I think. Rocky Mountain Race Week represents the ultimate challenge for endurance drag racing enthusiasts. The competition involves daily races on different drag strips for an entire week, with the added requirement of driving at least 1,000 miles on the streets between tracks. Take pride in our bi-racers. 4 racers approach. We understand the challenges and experience participate firsthand. Now, they say this one's really challenging because you have to go up the Rocky Mountains. They race at that one track that supposedly is the highest elevation of any racetrack in the United States. Wow, it starts in 8 days, 10 hours, and 8 minutes. Think I can get my car ready to go by then? I doubt it. It's on jack stands right now. I could probably get it down and running. Don't have any seats in it. Let's see. Where? Pueblo Motorsports Park, Colorado. Oh, I wish they'd show you the route. 2.0, Race Week 2.0. Schedule. All right. $250 to enter it. Yeah, what they do a little different is they have in Rocky Mountain race, they have a drive day. So day 1 you race, day 2 you drive, day 3 you race, day 4 you race, day 5 is a drive day, day 6 Brandomere. I think Brandomere is the one that is one of the highest drag strips in America. Let's see if that is it. Mile High NHRA Nationals. Yep, this is it. This is crazy. This thing is cut into the side of a mountain. Pretty crazy. I mean, it looks awesome. Looks awesome. Pretty crazy. The north and south. That's the one they say is just really hard because the altitude is so high. The cars have trouble running. It's pretty crazy. And then this one is Hot Rod Dragger Week. This is the one that's going on right now. There's the wheel. There's that panel wagon. How to make a milk truck do wheelies. There's Tom Bailey. Apparently his truck or his trailer, I didn't notice that. It looks like a monster truck. Well, it does from here. It looks like a monster truck, but these are his drag tires. I was going to say, I didn't notice it looking like that, but I wonder if they got me in there. This blue car was at Bristol, and I wasn't impressed. There's your Fox body. This guy tore up his stuff, man. Camaro, Monte Carlo, Still. There's Tom Bailey again. See, when they make these checkpoint stops, they've got to take a picture in front of whatever it was. Like if this was a Betty Boop motel, then every racer would have to drive up, take a picture of himself in the car under the sign, and then send it to the track officials so they would know that you followed the route, the specified route, and made the checkpoints. Because you can't deviate from the route. And the reason they do that is to keep you from going by your buddy's shop and fixing the car and welding it up and doing repairs to it that you're not supposed to do. Well, that's a nice truck. Yeah, people like to sit out alongside the route when they find out what the route is. And they don't tell you what the route is until you're finished for that day. You turn in your time slip, you get a route sheet. Drag Week's pretty strict on that kind of stuff. We got some nice cars. Corvette, that guy was quick. This guy was not so quick, the truck, but it was interesting. Pretty good looking Tempest. There's your nice Duster. Nova. Everybody's got a Nova. Come on. The Dart. Another Fox body with an LS. Guy's got a really nice trailer too, matching his car. There's the truck. There's that Tempest again. Try to see if they had some of those other ones that were in here. I think that's the Grand National. I think that's a stock Grand, well, I won't say stock, but one of the V6 Turbo Grand Nationals. GTO. A lot of Bailey pictures. He breaks that thing. There's that Chevette painted, the yellow. Nice looking Malibu. See, these are these Harbor Freight style utility trailers these people buy. Nice Camaro and tow them. Mustangs. There's that GTO again. That's a nice looking Nova. Well, that was it. Sick week. So, I think it's popular because you have a lot to it. You've got to, if you want to be competitive, your car has to be fast, has to be street legal, has to be reliable, and 1,000 miles is a long way in some of these cars. Like I said, they've got full funny car cages in them, a lot of them. Headsets, headphones, because they're just so loud. There's, so much road noise on them. It's just crazy some of the things that they do. They're changing tires, they're changing rear end gears, they're changing all this kind of stuff. Some of those really fast cars have such a low rear end in them that they put mud tires on them. It's kind of funny to look at these cars in their street attire. They have to have like 33, 34-inch mud tires in the back to make them run highway speeds. It's just funny to see because you think mud tires are pretty wide, but when they put them in these tubbed out drag cars, they lose them in there. It's that tub in there that they put those slicks in is huge, and even though mud tires may be tall and they're pretty wide, they don't nearly take up the room as what those drag slicks do. So it looks kind of funny when they're in their street trim, they're getting ready to leave, and they got these big mudder tires. Mickey Thompson, that's who was there, because they had some of those mud tires and stuff for sale, and I thought, why do they have those big old knobby mud tires? And then I started thinking about it, and I saw a guy had them on his 55 Chevy, and I said, why are you doing that? And he was telling me, and I thought, well, that's a pretty good idea. But been wanting to try it. I'm interested now some of these other ones. I always wanted to do Drag Week because that was the one that's kind of the pinnacle. Now Sick Week, Rocky Mountain, those three are really big. So it's interesting that there's some that are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's pretty cool. And they're local, more local. Because I think the last time that Drag Week was here was in 2018. pretty sure it was 2018. So anyway, Clell, thanks for calling in. Sorry I cut you off. I've got to, I don't know. I've got to figure out how to keep it from losing the focus. I might have to get another 3. I might have to go 3 monitors. I don't know. Of course, I guess once I get OBS, if that's what I'm going to use, I could. It's on one full screen now, and then of course the screen that I'm sharing is a full screen. So I might be able to not necessarily minimize OBS because then I lose my chat, but I might be able to break it up some way. Or Robert could just donate me, 2 more monitors or something. Make it work that way. I actually have access to wider monitors that I might have to set up and then split them, kind of down the middle. But anyway, all right. I appreciate you stopping in. Like I said, my wife always makes fun of me. You could just take one of your antique cars. I mean, Robert, did you get that El Camino running? I mean, it doesn't have to be fast. Just go out there and run. She says, oh, just take something and have a good time. I was like, well, to me, part of the good time is like being quick, being fast. I wouldn't want to take her Mazda 6 and just cruise around in the air conditioning. That might be fun, but those guys are going to look at you and go, whatever. Might as well just ride your bicycle. They don't allow motorcycles, by the way. I don't think there is a drag and drive event that allows motorcycles. Maybe there's an idea. Drag and drive events for motorcycles. All right, everybody. 2 bodies. Maybe 3 bodies if you include me. Appreciate you coming by. Thanks for, watching, listening, participating, being in the chat. So, all the people, like, subscribe, watch it, tell your friends about it. But just turn it on and walk away from it. I'll talk to you anyway. All right, everybody. I appreciate it. Let me get this stop button. Okay, we're ready. When Mark gets set,